Sad day in the backyard. Stay tuned for more details.
Do me a favor, subscribe to my channel.
Hey everyone, Kyle here from Poseidon's Pets. So got some sad news for you. My goldfish passed away. So all the goldfish that I was quarantining for the aquaponics system, they had some type of bacterial infection going on. So I did a water change, added some salt. They just didn't make it. So I lost one, and then a couple days later I lost two more. Did another water change, and then I had three left. One of them wasn't looking so good. The other two looked pretty healthy, so I went ahead and drip acclimated them to the aquaponics system, hoping that maybe larger body of water is gonna do good for them. They did good for about a couple days, and then just didn't make it. So I feel really bad about it. What I should have done is bring them inside, put a heater in there, because with our winter this year, our winter has been very weird. It's been fluctuating temperature drastically. So we would have a really cold day and then we'd be in the 80s. So I just think that that massive fluctuation in temperature affected them because they were in a small body of water. If I had just transferred them into the aquaponics system and had that larger body of water, the temperature fluctuations would have been less, and I don't think they would have gotten sick. So with it being a tub, it was hard to really diagnose it and see anything was wrong. I didn't really know anything was amiss until one of them died. So they just went downhill really quick, and I feel awful about it. You know, they're little fish, but it's still, when you lose one, you don't feel good about it, especially somebody like me who's been in the hobby a while. And I don't lose fish very often. If I do, it's usually because of old age, genetics, whatever it may be. It's not often that I lose a fish to negligence or disease, stuff like that, because usually I take care of it and, you know, they're all good. So it definitely hurts me, and I feel bad for them. So I'm excited for, you know, the aquaponics system and getting it going, but I feel bad for those goldfish. So now that that's done with, let's move on to a positive note. Look at these plants. They're doing awesome. Check this out. Look at this broccoli. Broccoli's doing really good. Brussels sprouts. I haven't seen any sprouts on there yet, but they're getting there. Kale's doing really good. Beets are starting to grow. I've debated on thinning these out. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. So I may thin them out, I may not. One thing I noticed was I'm getting a bunch of aphids. So I don't know if you could see them there, but I've got a few aphids on the pepper plants. Not so much on the greens, but definitely on the peppers. And I don't know if that's because of weather. They're starting to, you know, become susceptible to pests because of the colder weather climate. But I'm gonna get some neem oil and spray it on there and see how they do afterwards. But if you're looking for an organic, safe pesticide to use, neem oil is great because it'll just coat the plants. The pests won't want to eat it, and then, you know, you can kill off those pests without having to harm your plants or put any pesticides on there. Because especially with a system like this, you don't want to add any harsh chemicals or anything like that. See if I could show you some of the aphids. So they're just completely covering these pepper plants. And I've actually got some decent peppers on here again. You see in the back there. So they're still producing, even though I've got those aphids on there. And there are some on the broccoli and stuff, but not too bad. So like I said, a little bit of neem oil. I'm just gonna coat these plants pretty good and they'll do okay. Now, neem oil is what I've used in the past in my organic garden. I'm gonna do a little bit more research before going ahead and just spraying these guys, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fish safe. I just wanna double check before I do it. So if you're watching this video, This is definitely new to me, new territory. So let me experiment first before you take my advice. And if you've used neem oil in the past in an aquaponic system or with your fish, let me know. Let me know how it went. This guy's doing really good. Look at that. Give you an idea of how massive these plants are. So I'm excited for the aquaponic system. It's definitely been a hit. I've had some hiccups and a few setbacks, but nothing too crazy. And I'm dialing it in even more every month. So the more I learn, the more I experiment, the better it does. Next week when I fertilize, I'm gonna show you guys what supplements I add and how I do it. But you can see this kale. Like, look how healthy this is. That's just one plant right there. And with kale, you can start to take these lower leaves off and just eat your way up the plant. So leave a few leaf sets so that way the plant has some leaves to grow, but you can start to pick off these lower leaves and just eat them as you need. You don't have to harvest the whole plant. You just grab what you need and then the plants will start to grow more. But I think I've got 5 or 6 in here. And let's see if you can see it, but that garlic I transplanted, it's still down there, still doing okay, struggling a little bit. The garlic in here is completely buried. What's funny is the garlic does not have any aphids on it. So I know some plants are natural pest deterrents, mint being one of them. And I believe onions and garlic, they just give off a smell that the pests don't want to eat. It's doing good. All right, so I did a little bit more research, and you can use neem oil, but you want to be very careful not to get it in the water. So it can harm the fish, so you just want to cover your grow bed, you want to cover the actual tank itself, so that way none of the oil gets in there. So it's kind of hard to use, and there's a chance that could get into the water, but at low doses it may not harm your fish, it may harm them. I read that some people did have some issues where it killed some of their fish, so I'm just not going to use it. What I found was diatomaceous earth. So if you get diatomaceous earth, you sprinkle it on the plants under the leaves, that's going to kill any insects that are on there, but it's also going to kill any beneficial insects. So we don't really want that, but in a small system like this, it's not that bad. What I'm gonna do is crush as many of them as I can by hand, brush them off with, toothbrush, anything like that, and then I'm gonna sprinkle that diatomaceous earth on there. So earlier today, I sprayed the plants all down with some water to knock off as many bugs as I could. So I'm not gonna do the diatomaceous earth today, but I'll let you guys know how it turned out and how it worked for the aphids and, getting rid of any of the pests. Now, something exciting though, I just got back from Petco. So I rescued some feeder goldfish. So these guys, they're compact into this small aquarium with tons of other fish, and they're meant to be fed to snakes and other fish and stuff like that. So putting them in this system, if even some of them can survive for a while, it's a better life than what would have happened to them in the pet store or being sold to somebody else who's going to use them as feeders. So I figured, buy some feeder goldfish. That way I at least have an input system for my ammonia and my nitrates. So I'm gonna go ahead and acclimate these guys and then drop them in there. So as you can tell, some time's gone by. So that means the fish are acclimated. So that means I can let them go. So let's let them go. Let's do that.
So for this experiment, what you're gonna need a net and a bucket and then a bag of fish. Take your bag of fish and the net and the bucket. You want to make sure no more fish in your bag. Take your fish. Put your fish in their new home. Bye, fish. Don't die, fish. So there we go. The fish are in their homes. So, you know, stay tuned to future content to see more of these fish and more plants and more bugs on the plants. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut to past Kyle when the sun's still out, because he already recorded the closing video. So yeah, so I'm definitely torn up about the goldfish. I feel bad for him. You know, it's my fault. I'm a fish keeper. We're all in this hobby together, and you know, you're not a real fish keeper until you've killed fish. So don't get discouraged if you do lose fish. Just make sure you're more diligent and you're more careful when this happens, so that it doesn't happen again. You know, these are living organisms. You don't want to just take chance with their lives. Do everything you can to make sure that they're okay. There's going to be accidents. Things are going to happen. You know, it's just do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing before you jump into things. And I will admit, this could have been prevented. I could have caught it sooner. I could have brought him inside. There's a lot of things that could have happened, but being inside those totes, I'm only getting a top view, so I can't see what they look like from below. So without physically taking them out of the water and looking at them, I can't really see what's going on. And with the weather being cold, they're gonna be lethargic. They're gonna sit there. So it's something that you could see in a fish tank, but outside in a pond, it's a little bit harder to diagnose. So this is all new to me, and I'm excited to go through these struggles so other people don't have to. But definitely upset about it, and I'm excited to get new fish, but I'm gonna be moving here soon. So once I move, you know, all of this is gonna come with me. I'm gonna be setting up bigger systems. I'm gonna be setting up a bigger fish room. So I'm excited for the move. I'm excited for my channel. I'm excited for the possibilities, and I'm excited for you guys to be there with me and see me grow and see everything that I'm doing. So thank you guys so much for all your continued support and all your love, and just continuing to watch my videos, because if nobody watched my content, there's no reason for me to create this. So I definitely appreciate you guys going out there and watching my stuff. And as always, if you love me, you love my fish, you love my videos, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate it, and you won't regret it. So thanks again for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.